I'm really excited once again to talk to Doron Kempel. He is the founder and CEO of R-Bond. They are publicly traded on NASDAQ. Their ticker symbol is?
Their ticker symbol is OBAI.
They are pioneering a new category of preventative personal security that's AI-based. You've seen him here on the program before. And what's interesting is he's done more than one live demonstration of how this works, where he is actually speaking to his technology, saying that he's safe, but say hi to the people on TV. Yeah. Once again, we bring you
Doron Kempel.
Doron, how are you, sir? Great to see you, man.
Hi there. Thank you for having me.
We're going to see him a lot more, and I'm going to talk him into coming to San Diego.
Please.
We're going to spend a whole hour here in studio with him. Doron, can you, for the people that haven't seen you before, because I know we're constantly picking up new affiliates, and you're on at different times when you're with us, talk about how you began. What was the tip of the spear here? How you pioneered this AI-driven personal preventative security product?
Great. So it starts with identifying a problem that's worth solving, and then you ask yourself, is it possible to solve it? So let's talk about the problem. The problem is that when, say, somebody whom we love, say our daughter, she leaves the office, say in Manhattan at 6 p.m. As soon as she leaves the office, she immediately feels less comfortable. Perhaps she feels unsafe. She's one of 40% of Americans. That's 140 million Americans, 45% of women, 35% of men, who say that they don't feel safe walking alone at night. As soon as she comes out of the protected building, she feels unsafe. That's not a 911 situation. I'm just clarifying. This is not a complaint. 911 is handling emergencies. Our daughter is not an emergency. She has a peace of mind problem. That's a big problem that troubles billions of people globally. We're going to get back to that in a minute. Now she has a 5-minute walk. Either she walks to where she parked her car or to the subway. Maybe she walks home. And now she's going to experience uncomfortable 5 minutes of walking. She's in the parking garage, walking towards her car. She notices that the wrong person is approaching her. When she notices him, how far is he from her? Say 2 cars, 30 feet, closing time, 2 seconds.
Wow.
That's how long it takes a man to run 30 feet. In 30 feet or 2 seconds, does our daughter complete a 911 call?
No.
No way. According to the Bureau of Justice, and I didn't know that until I started researching it, 0.3% of women over the age of 18 are raped every year. 0.3%. Wow. That's 500,000 women every year. It's not attempted rape. It's not harassed. It's raped. This is unacceptable. And if you analyze the problem, for your question, Sally, it starts with it being too early to dial 911. And in these corner situations that I just described, it's too late to complete a 911 call. Too early until it's too late to dial 911. And then I started to research it, and I realized 911 is a great service. But most of the 911 situations that are being handled are situations where there's a car accident, there's a medical situation, there's a fire, the neighbor is complaining about somebody. These are not, Sally, Mary, and Mike, these are not situations where anybody's facing an assailant. In fact, when you're facing an assailant, you're not going to complete a 911 call. So I asked myself, what is the solution? I'm getting to your question. That is the problem. What's the solution? The problem with personal security today, unless you're rich enough to have your own bodyguard, is that it's all reactive. The assumption is that our daughter, our son, our father, our mother are going to complete a 911 call in 2 seconds. Not going to happen. What is required is preventative personal security. What is required is a technology and human operations that allow the end user, our daughters, us, everybody, to be looked after before it's an emergency. So what we've created is a new tier below 911, whereby nothing is too early. There's no such situation of you reaching out to bond too early. We would coach you. We would tell you, you reached out to us too late. And what we have delivered is basically a platform that is now having been adopted by some of the largest companies in the world. They're offering it to their executive, to their family members, to all of their employees, the salespeople, the store employees, the home care nurses. They basically download the Bond app on their phone, and through this app, they have access to 15 services. And you can see on the first screen, on the main screen. If they're in an emergency, they can click the SOS button. But what we're talking about is the preventative services. These are the other services. And if our daughter is coming out of the building and she just wants to be looked after, she clicks any one of those buttons like track me on the go, ready an agent for me.
This is Chaim. What's the situation?
Hey,
This is
thank
so
you for
great.
responding so quickly. I'm safe. I'm just demonstrating on a television show. I'm going to show you to Sally. You don't need to deter. Just say hello, Sally, nothing else. Can you do that for me?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Hey, hey. Look at that.
Good job. I'm safe. Can I disconnect?
If you feel safe, you can disconnect. Thank you for choosing Bond. We're for you 24/7.
Thank you. Disconnecting. So this was a security agent in one of our command centers in the US, available within 5 seconds. I click this button here, the video monitoring button. Within 5 seconds, wherever you are in 28 countries in which we offer the service, even if you travel tomorrow to Mexico, we take care of you. You get a personal security agent on your phone. Now, this might sound like something that for sure addresses the peace of mind problem because you're never alone. 5 seconds,
Right.
you get an agent. But it's far more than that, because if you're a professional, you understand that in 99.9% of cases, the perpetrator is not out of his mind. He's a male, he's opportunistic, he wants to survive, so he's very selective regarding the targets. Number 4, he wants no cameras. If people know that there are cameras, they're not going to commit crime there. And number 5, they want no witnesses. In 5 seconds, we bring a camera, we
And a
bring
witness.
a witness. You saw very clearly that this was an agent and not my uncle on the living room sofa. You could hear him clearly from my phone. And if I'm not able to get out of the situation, say, Doron, stop. Direct the phone towards the approaching stranger. Let me speak with him. This saves lives. We've handled, Sally and team, over 1.25 million security service requests and over 10,000 emergencies and life-saving situations. Preventative security instead of reactive, nothing like it in the world today.
Doron Kempel is the founder CEO of Arbonne Incorporated, ticker symbol OBAI. Equally as important, their website is arbonne.com. Doron, when you say deter, is that what you mean when you hold the agent up to the person who I would assume is coming at me? What do they say? Like, hey, you're being filmed. I've got your face. I've got all this different recognition. Does that help stop them in their tracks?
Absolutely. So we, out of the 1.25 million service requests, over 200,000 video monitoring cases. These are cases where the member wants an agent on video with him. In over 300 cases, we had to deter, and I'll explain there are different levels of deterrence. And to my surprise, because in 2017, Mike, I was worried that there's going to be a case where we're going to agitate some stranger.
Yeah.
Is going to hit our member and toss the phone away. Hasn't happened once. Probably will happen. We can't control the circumstances.
Sure.
But this intuition of not wanting to be on camera where you're doing something embarrassing or illegal is very powerful.
Yeah.
So you might say 300 cases, what happens in the other cases? First of all, the other cases say Lisa is walking to her car. She just doesn't want to be alone. That's great.
Yeah.
This is exactly what they're for, to make her feel good. There probably are situations where somebody would have approached Lisa, but he sees that she's on video, especially if it's night, there's going to be white glare all over her. And if
Yep.
he gets close to her, he sees that she's on video. And we instruct our members, don't hide the fact that you have video. That is a deterrent. By the way, for your audience, if you don't yet have Bond on your phone, and you feel worried about something, go on video with somebody. That is a deterrent. Of course, you prefer a Bond professional security agent who's
Of
trained on
course.
de-escalation and deterrence. Everything is recorded, admissible in court. To your question, Mike, first level of deterrence, they simply see that there's somebody on the phone. The second level is that we tell the member, please stop and gently turn your phone towards the approaching stranger. Says the agent, let me speak with him. We don't want her to do, or him to do anything like that. Just gently turn it over. We don't want to create any upsetting situation. And then we speak to the approaching stranger as follows. Sir, it's typically a man. This is a live video recorded call. I am a security agent of the firm Bond. The gentleman or the lady feel uncomfortable. I will handle. You don't need to help me. Have a good evening. We don't blame him.
Yeah.
We don't agitate him. We give him a diplomatic out, and that has always worked. Now, there are some cases when we need to raise our voice. Everything, by the way, that I'm talking about is recorded. All these situations are recorded on the app, in our command center. Everything is recorded. So when I sit on the weekly briefings, or a debriefing, I see all these situations. And there are situations where the agents need to raise their voice. For instance, something that stuck with me from last week. Sir, let the woman out. The police is on its way. You're recorded. You're going to be arrested.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
she raises her voice. This is, by the way, this is one of our agents who's already saved a woman who was in an Airbnb with somebody she was afraid of. She couldn't call 911. She texted us. We got 911 to the door. They let her out.
Wow.
So this same woman who saved somebody a few years ago, she was raising her voice at this guy, and he let the woman out.
Love it.
Doron, you know, I keep talking about how much this strikes a chord with me because I have 2 daughters going to college, and I definitely want this service. But can you talk about also, I know you mentioned something about partnering with businesses and enterprise accounts that maybe bigger companies get for all their employees?
Our largest customers are some of the largest companies in the world. If you think about the most recognized and respected brand in the world, that's one of our customers. And they basically buy the service and they offer it as a benefit to all of their store employees. So they go to the store employees and they say something like that. This is a routine that we recommend. They say, we, the name of the company, care about your safety and peace of mind. So we partner with Bond, the world's leader in personal security. We pay for the service. Bond takes care of you and preserves your privacy 100%. Anything that happens between you and Bond stays between you and Bond. They don't report to us that you, Larry, or Michelle are using the service. Watch this video in order to understand how the service works and how Bond preserves your privacy. Then these employees, these store employees, watch the video of 3 minutes. At the end of the 3 minutes, there's a QR code. They download the service, bang, they're immediately available to use the service. And we have an organization that reaches out to them in order to make them comfortable using the service, because it's still hard for them to believe that by clicking a button, they get an agent on the phone, even without it being an emergency.
Yeah, that's insane. Doron, before we let you out of here today, I know that you're positioning in a B2B world. I'm wondering about governments, because I can see, mandates for having this type of technology. I mean, it's silly that it would be sitting on the sidelines for almost anything or anyone. And I know that you put a press release out last month walking towards that. Is that getting some traction? Is that what your next focus is going to be? And let's even talk a little bit about the B2C, about just being able to download it as just an individual.
Terrific question. So what has been most efficient for us, efficient and effective, is going to the chief physical security officers, but also the heads of HR and the chief financial officer and the head of benefits, because once you reduce the risk and the fear for your employees, their morale, it's called engagement, goes up, their churn goes down. Think about how much money you save by increasing the morale of your team and lowering the churn.
Yeah, it translates to productivity. I mean, it's a direct translation to productivity in a New York minute.
Exactly. And then, of course, if you reduce workplace violence, just think about the cost of workplace violence. By the way, very large companies, Sally, hold the benefits on their own balance sheet. They don't pass it on to an insurance company. So if you're a large company, think about it. If 0.3% of all the women who work for you statistically are at risk of being raped, the cost of that in year one medically could be $30,000 to $50,000. If you just run the numbers, if we can reduce that by 1 to 50%, that reduces millions of dollars. I don't feel comfortable talking about the financial benefits, but when you're dealing with businesses, you need to tell them why it's worth their while taking care of their employees 24/7.
I mean, that's the grotesque part of it. I mean, safety is a natural, but you also have to figure out if it takes talking about monetization or productivity and saving money. I think whatever you have to do to get it out there. Last of all, the opportunity for individuals to download this at some point without being a corporation, is that coming?
That's coming, and we're going to lean into it. We've already started testing that in order to offer this to consumers. To your question, we're also working with government and with cities right now. And around the world, we have some ministries of healthcare. Because think about it, these professionals, women, men, they go to houses of other people. They knock on the door. They never know who's going to open the door. So we are going through governments, through consumers, through businesses.
I think Mary's going to be your first individual client.
I believe so.
You got it.
Doron, thank you, sir.
Doron Kempel, founder, CEO, Arbonne Incorporated. Boy, you're going to be tapping that app a lot if you ever come in studio with us. Their ticker symbol OBAI, website rbond, OUR bond.com.